The National Association of Sports Commissions stands for best practices in the industry. That's to say, the best practices on the part of the host city, the best practices on the part of the event owner. And we want to educate both parties so that they can make good business together that benefits the city, the event owner, and the athletes. Well, fortunately, cities are now talking to each other. We started talking to each other in the United States 24 years ago. The Canadians started talking to each other about 15, 16 years ago. The Japanese have started talking to each other, and now we have an international collective of cities that are meeting at least once a year, and we're talking to each other. You know, that's a good question because we hear so much about economic impact, and frankly, there are more ways to figure economic impact than there are economists in the world. And economic impact numbers don't mean anything. Does it matter that visitors come? Absolutely. So you want to measure, if you can, the number of visitors that come to a community. You want to be able to measure the impact on the athletes and their family and their friends. How did it go? Because if it went well, that means good things for the future. Well, it's interesting. Sport is all about keeping score. Somehow we have to keep score. And so if we're going to be in the sports industry and sports event industry, we have to be able to report on the level of success we've had. How do we do that? I've just said economic impact is a difficult gauge, but room nights that could be produced by an event is a relatively easy thing to compute. It's also relatively simple to try to come to an estimate on direct visitor spending, about how much did people spend each day. And you can do that simply through a questionnaire during the event. But after you've collected that information, it's important for all of us to report what happened and do it truthfully, because people need to understand what we've done with the investment that was made in the event. So sport is about keeping score, we keep score. The NASC has just completed its 24th annual Sports Event Symposium. And we had about 1,000 people there. And next year in Sacramento, California, we'll have more than that. The symposium is a chance for the cities and event owners and suppliers to the industry to get together and talk carefully and closely about the best practices in the industry that I've already mentioned, plus what's working today. What works, what doesn't work. Who's doing a good job? Who has not done such a good job? And it's important for us, within the United States anyway, to exchange the kind of information that allows our cities to beware of certain rights holders who do not do what they say they will do.